All right, we've got breaking news. Here are the pictures from this church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. We've got new video. The Grand Blanc Township police said there was an active shooter at the Church of Latter-day Saints there. There are multiple victims. They said the shooter is down, but the church, as you saw in that picture, is on fire. You can still see the smoke coming from the trees. Again, we don't know the connection here. We don't know why the church is on fire and what the connection is to the shooting, but we're working on getting more pictures. These are live pictures now from outside the church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. We're expecting a press conference in the next hour or so, and we'll bring that to you as soon as it happens.
All right. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. All praises due to the Most High. On the heels of a mass shooting in North Carolina last night, here we have a Mormon church, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan, that was the victim of a mass shooting. From reports right now, there is one killed and 9 injured, preliminary reports say. As well, the shooter, according to the police press conference that I'll show you a little bit of now, has been neutralized, they say, by a law enforcement officer. But also, as you saw in that news clip, the church is on fire. And so we don't know if the gunman set the church on fire, then started shooting, or he started shooting, then set the church on fire. We don't know, but evidently the church is on fire. And if you see from all of the news clippings, there is a large presence of white people. So this is, as I've been starting to dub it, a white-on-white crime or white-on-white violence, where Grand Blanc Township, which has a majority of white population, they are being the victims of, more than likely, and I'll say it in the late great words of Charlie Kirk, prove me wrong. I'm pretty sure that this shooter, just like the shooter last night in North Carolina, was a white person. Now I'm going to let you see a little bit of the live coverage from the press conference that is being given. The police chief just spoke, and now I think they have the town manager at the podium. Just watch this. And this video is fair use for literary and commentary purposes only.
Front doors of the church went inside, started shooting before, as officials said, he was neutralized by law enforcement. But really what's so difficult here for law enforcement is that fire that they believe was deliberately set. That sort of pushed them back in what they were able to do a bit. As you've heard, they just got that fire out about within the hour, is how they put it. Sources have also told ABC News that there was a partial collapse of the church building. So you can imagine you're already dealing with an active scene, an active gunfire scene with hundreds of individuals on site. And then you add in a fire with a partial collapse. That complicates it even more than it already was. That's also why officials are saying right now, tragically, that they do believe that they will be finding more victims here. They didn't say whether they would be alive, hopefully, or deceased, but they did say because of the way that fire was set, that there were some people, unfortunately, trapped, unable to get outside of the building. Those were the words of the law enforcement official you just heard right there. So a very complex, very dynamic, as you said, hundreds of family, law enforcement, all on scene here, 100 FBI agents responding to what was just described as a very complex, dynamic, active scene right now. The chief there saying that this was still preliminary information and that they would be getting more as it goes on.
And we heard the chief say that this shooting began at 10:25 a.m. That's when church starts. This is a massive church. He said hundreds of people were inside right now, obviously taking part in the service. When the shots rang out, obviously when the officer said the suspect allegedly ran his vehicle into the front doors, exited, began shooting. I want to turn now to Brad Garrett. Brad, what are the first steps in an investigation like this? What are you watching for as all the facts start to come out and things begin to unfold?
So the first thing, obviously, is determine that, yes, he did this alone. And secondarily, are there any additional devices around the church? Or, as you mentioned earlier, they're doing a search of his residence, what might be there. Obviously, at the house may give them some key points, things that he's written, things on his computer. Did he have inflammatory devices of some sort? Because, it looks like to me, again, this is so preliminary, is that he shot a fair number of people. If he had an automatic weapon and he had people in church and there were hundreds of them, I would have thought there would have been more people shot, which would suggest that if he started the fire, that's what he was doing before law enforcement arrived and engaged him. But, once you've got everything to a safe level, then obviously you have to figure out, what do we have here? Assuming there's nobody else connected, are there people, obviously, that know this person? Or was there information that he possibly was going to go do something like this? That's another part of this investigation. But, the real key here, obviously, is how could he have done what he did? And it looks like to me, that part is pretty simple. He just literally drove his truck. It's like somebody walking into a school or a place of business and just using an assault weapon and start shooting people, which sadly we've had to talk about too much. So, all of these things kind of have to go together at the same time. The FBI probably are sending their evidence response team. I'm going to guess this is a rural part of Michigan. The FBI have trained evidence response teams in every field office, so they'll probably come. They mentioned it.
All right. And so there you see that same guy that they always bring on. I don't know who is he, the mass shooting specialist in America, but he always comes and they, do the same song and dance. They go and they search the person's house and they find this and they find that. But what's interesting about this shooting to me is, once again, it is at the Church of Mormon, or, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is a Mormon church, which originated in Utah. The Mormons have a stronghold on Utah. People have called me and told me all about, the Mormon racism. Now, in the Book of Mormon, the Mormons do not like black people. Let's put that out there. And they said that black people were cursed and all of those things. And so the shooter that shot Charlie Kirk was a Mormon. And now you hear, or you see, this Mormon church being the subject of irreprehensible violence. They're saying that this guy drove his truck into the church, or he hopped out and went into the church, started shooting, or set the church on fire simultaneously. And you see that the church is up in flames. They're talking about the church collapse. And so that means more injuries and deaths may occur other than this one casualty. Now, I don't know if that one casualty is excluding or including the gunman that they say. But, we'll find out more evidence. But this is the second mass shooting in less than 24 hours. One happened around 10 o'clock last night in Southport, North Carolina, where 11 people were shot. And this one so far, once again, has 10 people shot. But I can't, once again, discount the racial dynamic of these crimes. I haven't heard Trump mention any of these mass shootings as far as bringing the National Guard in, being tough on crime, having to, round up these thugs and criminals and white people who are just running around shooting other white people. And so I think this is a better part of the narrative as well. But, this is a phenomenon that we're seeing of, once again, violence that has been perpetrated by people returning on their own head. But we're going to take a closer look at this later on when more information comes out. But once again, this happened at 10:25 at a church with hundreds of people in it. And so y'all let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments. Y'all see the number 919-587-7782. And if you do like this content and want to see this channel continue to grow, please hit that subscribe button on the bottom of your screen, which allows this video to get more out into the internet space and get more exposure with more frequency and regularity. But thank you for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing to this particular video. And as always, I wish you peace and blessings. Scripture says all things that are hidden shall be revealed, and those things done in secret shall be exposed on the mountaintop.
Let's go, Rich. You watching Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. Give you the truth before fake news throw mud in it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing. Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. The propaganda grammar, don't believe none of it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing. Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. Give you the truth before fake news throw mud in it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing.
Negroes have listened to the trickery and the lies and the false promises of the white man now for too long.